Hello, people. Today on Bandra Bucket, I am going to a very historical place in India. It's called the Agra Fort. Okay, now I am moving on an Ola bike on the roads of Agra, and within some time I would be reaching very soon. Here you can see the majestic Agra Fort, all in red sandstone. Agra Fort actually initially was built by Lodi, but it was in brick form. Later on, Akbar and Humayun improved it. Akbar fortified the fort and made these huge red walls and did massive improvements on the fort. I'm entering through the Amar Singh gate. Okay, there are many other gates like the Lahori gate, the Delhi gate. These gates are used by the Indian Army. This fort is actually only 30% is available for the general public, and the rest 70% is used by the Indian Army. There are many tunnels beneath this fort which go to various places like Delhi and Fatehpur Sikri and the Yamuna river bank, and there are many underground bunkers which are used by the Indian Army to store their equipment and weapons. And as you can see, now I have entered the fort. Now we are slowly moving towards it, and there are a lot of tourists over here. Tourists from all over the world come over here to have a look at it. And these walls, they are massive. They are almost 80 to 90 feet high. Okay, they are huge. They are just simply really different and very big in size and very strong. I mean, it's almost a 500-year-old structure. The construction started in 1500 something, and it was occupied till 1638 by the Mughals, and then later on they moved to Delhi. These walls, they have holes, oil was dropped from them to keep the enemy away. This is a palace of Akbar, and this is the main entry. Okay, this entry. And now we are going towards first the Akbar's palace, the Akbari Mahal, made up of red sandstone with marble work in it. And there's also a Jahangir Mahal. This is the Jahangir's bathtub. He used to take bath in it when he was a kid. And it's made up of monolithic rock. There's all green carpet over here, carpeted in green. It looks very elegant, very fresh to the eyes. It's very soothing, therapeutic. As you can see, this is the Akbari Mahal. It's huge, and there are all jharokas and domes made up of it. It's a perfect example of Indo-Islamic architecture. In Mumbai, you don't get to see such huge places, so that's why I find it very amazing to my eyes. One fact about this place is that the area of Delhi and Agra, it lies on the Silk Route. The Silk Route has been a very important place because there's a lot of trade which used to happen on the Silk Route. This Silk Route, they used to trade all the spices and metals, everything from China, which went to Central Asia and Europe. So whoever had control of this place used to get huge benefits out of this trade. And this is also one of the reasons why the Mughals enriched over here. And even today in modern politics, if you see, China has been developing a Gwadar port in South Pakistan. Okay, so now because of which China will not have to depend on India in order to access Central Asia and European markets for its products and goods. And they are investing in huge amounts in Gwadar port, and hence they have political ties with Pakistan. So they will not have to depend on India. And in order to market and export their goods to the Central Asia and other European markets. Now back to our fort. This is the Jodhabai's Mahal, and where she used to live. And this is very, very rich in its carvings and in its design. This is the Jharoka, and there are pavilions over it. These are the shelves in which books were kept. And there is also a medieval AC system, air conditioning system over here to keep the weather cool. As you can see, this is the courtyard over here, and from this courtyard you can see the Taj Mahal. It is all carvings done on the red sandstone. It's a very different place. You need to visit here once in your life to have experience how things were back then. It's like traveling in time. I mean, this is almost 500 years old structure, and I wonder how it would have been in those days when it was occupied by the soldiers, by the emperor, by the queen, and how things used to happen over here. All the activity, very grand, very rich, and very amazing. How power was exercised from this place. This is the Taj Mahal, which is bang on opposite to the red Agra Fort. In the backdrop of blue and green, it stands in full pride. It's like traveling in time, as I was saying. You wonder, it makes you wonder how in medieval times things used to be. This is the Akbar's second wife palace. As you can see, it has a small courtyard and surrounded by rooms. This is the Shah Jahan Mahal, now which we are entering. This is the AC system. There's a hole over here, there's a passage in the window, but from here on the other side, if you see, the window looks as if it's closed, it's packed, but there's a duct which carries air into it. This is the Diwan-e-Khas. Now we are standing in the balcony of Diwan-e-Khas, and opposite us is the Yamuna flowing, and the Taj Mahal in the corner. And this place is all gardens, and there's also a Mehtab Bagh garden over here from which you can view the Taj Mahal. And this is the Shah Jahan's palace. Earlier this was made in gold, but later on the British took away. And now we are entering the Diwan-e-Khas. This is the Jharoka of Diwan-e-Khas. This is a balcony, and all ministers and used to sit with the emperor over here, and they used to discuss the affairs of the kingdom. And there were various ministries, and each minister had informed the emperor about his area of ministry. This is the Anguri Bagh. This is the palace of the Queen of Shah Jahan. Earlier there were all rose gardens over here, so that the air carries the fragrance of the rose. There are all on the four sides there are pavilions, and from which you can sit and enjoy the view. It's a very nice place for photography also. I mean, if you like photography and you want to shoot profiles and other things, you can really enjoy this place. This is the Sheesh Mahal. This was the Shah Jahan's wife's room actually, and they were all diamonds studded in the ceiling, and all precious gems and gold filigree work done on the ceiling, because the queen wanted to view stars at the time of night when she was asleep. She wanted a view of the stars, so the emperor he filled the ceiling with diamonds so that it looks like they are stars. As you can see, you can have amazing views of the Taj over here, and you can do a lot of shooting over here. You can click your photos, your family's photos, and the backdrop is really amazing. Jahanara was Shah Jahan's daughter, I guess, and this is her room. Shah Jahan was captured over here by Aurangzeb in his last years of life, and he was kept here as a prisoner. He was house arrested over here, and there was a huge fight between Aurangzeb and his brothers, and Aurangzeb killed many of them, especially Dara Shikoh. And this is the Meena Masjid. This is the private mosque of Shah Jahan, and he used to pray over here when he was old, and when he was captured by his son. There are all pavilions around the courtyard. This is the Diwane Khas, wherein all this is the parliament actually. This is the seat of the emperor, and the white seat was of the prime minister. If you see, there is a crack on the black seat. Actually, it was hit by a cannon. When there was the Britishers were fighting, it was hit by a cannon, so it has broken. This is a spectacular view of the Yamuna River. The gardens are really nice. They are very well maintained, and they are huge, and they are very soothing to the eyes. Green color, it really pacifies your mind and your eyes. It's very soothing in nature. This is the Nagina Masjid which we are entering. This is the private mosque of the women of the fort. The women used to come here and pray. It's all made in marble. In this fort, everything which is made in marble was built by Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan really liked marble, and he has made everything in marble. He used red sandstone very less. All made in Makarana marble from Rajasthan. There is a fountain also over here which is not functional now, and this is a very cute little mosque, very peaceful. I mean, you can imagine how peaceful it was back in those days, sitting over here and praying. A very spiritual experience. These are all pavilions in the courtyard. This is the Diwane Khas, and very majestic pavilions, very elegant, very new to the eye. Now we have come to Diwane Aam, wherein the emperor used to meet the people of his kingdom, the general public, and he used to discuss their issues, what they are facing, what problems they have. And there are gardens on all the four sides of this hall, and the emperor used to discuss all the problems faced by his subjects, whether related to property, whether related to taxes and other things. There is a grave over here of some British soldier. His name was Russell. As I told you earlier, that Britishers in the last days, Britishers had access to the fort. This is the throne of the emperor. Emperor Akbar and Jahangir used to sit over here and meet the people and his ministers and other soldiers and everybody. And they used to, all the judicial work used to happen over here. The distribution of justice and hearing of cases, everything. And there's a British cannon over here. And there are all gardens, beautiful gardens surrounded in this place. And now I'm exiting the fort. This is the exit part. These are staff quarters. There are all jharokas and pavilions, minutely carved. And this was the last part of the fort. There's a trench over here. There were alligators over here. Akbar used to throw the criminals in this trench, and alligators used to eat them.